Hey guys, how's it going? Um, I just woke up. It's it ain't even 7 a.m. yet, y'all. I've been up for I don't know, maybe an hour. I really don't sleep much. I'm still in my nightgown. Like I haven't done nothing. I just got up. I haven't even done any of my normal daily routine things. Yeah, my hair's all like I just woke up. I wouldn't normally do a video like this, but um I know that I've taken a little bit of time off. And that was as per spirit, as well as me making this video. So the video is that I want to make right now um is about codependency. That's what spirit wants me to talk about. And apparently it's crucial or something because I wasn't even allowed to have coffee or a shower. So first of all, I've been taking the break just to sort of replenish, because I was going really hard there for a couple months, and I don't mind. It's just I need to take some time to replenish sometimes, and also it was mostly just because of cancer season. Like I really needed to take a break during cancer season, because I've been really all up in my feels, and I've been going through a lot of different business plans, and just going through a lot of different things for myself, having a lot of discussions with spirit about this channel. There are a few things that are going to change. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about codependency. I just wanted to take the opportunity to let you guys know, like, why I haven't put any videos out for, like, I did the monthlies, and I think I did, like, one weekend reading since then, and that was about it. But that's why. So, okay, anyway, codependency. Okay. Codependency is something that most people struggle with at some point in their life. And the reason I feel well, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sure spirit has a lot of I ain't got my earrings and nothing. Okay, sorry. Codependency has come up a lot in my readings. So I guess there's a good number of you out there that could be watching my videos who has either struggled with that yourself, or you currently struggle with it, or you've dealt with somebody with codependency, so you have some sort of experience with it if it's coming up in my readings. So there is a really big wave of twin flames coming together right now. And if you consider twin flames bullshit or whatever, and you don't resonate with twin flames, please don't get caught up in that and feel like you're no longer excluded in the conversation when I bring up the term twin flame, okay? Because that's not the case. But y'all gonna feel however y'all gonna feel, okay? I can't control you. I can't crawl up in your body and feel your feelings for you and give your, brain the downloads that it needs to understand things from different perspectives where you might feel more comfortable about it. And I don't have the time to get into it. But Um, there's a really big wave of twin flames coming together right now, and what seems to be happening, at least one of the things happening, and I guess that's one of the things I'm supposed to be addressing, is that the codependency is one of the last things that is keeping a lot of twin flames from reuniting. You cannot reunite with a twin flame if you're codependent or if you're struggling with codependent tendencies. Now, if you're like, what the fuck is a twin flame? And, you know, that's cool. You don't have to even concern yourself with it. If it's not something that you are drawn to, if is it something that you're naturally interested in, if you don't feel a resonation with it, then it's doesn't really have anything to do with you on that part of your path, so you don't have to worry about it. But even if you don't feel twin flamey, and you just don't want to be alone or whatever, that's kind of part of being codependent. But you're not excluded, is what I'm saying. Like, you may be trying to come together with somebody, may or may not even know it. The universe might be trying to pair you up with somebody, okay? Because God hears your prayers. All prayers, ask and ye shall receive. That shit's true, okay? It might not seem like it sometimes, because the shit that we ask for comes to us in the way we ask for it. And the thing, the spin that I want to use on codependency that a lot of other people may not is through the aspect of energy. Because I'm like a spirit scientist, okay? I'm very skeptical of existence. Like, I question if I'm even real, okay? I'm very, very skeptical by nature, and I'm not skeptical from a place of fear, but I'm skeptical from a place of, I don't know, like Ariesness or something, my Gemini rising. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm just like, I need to understand it from every perspective I can, and it needs to make sense to me if I'm going to be behind it. If it doesn't make sense to me, then I'm going to be skeptical of it. I'm not a hater, but I'm going to be skeptical of it. So, from a very young age, I started looking at the world through the aspect of energy. Because if you look at the world, in my opinion, from the aspect of energy, then everything starts to make more sense. So if you look at codependency from the aspect of energy, this really gives me the platform to discuss something else I've really been wanting to discuss as far as energy goes, and that's energy imprints, energy patterns. I want y'all to understand why you're struggling with the issues that you're struggling with. The biggest issue, I think, like the biggest obstacle that people face in dealing with their issues is being able to accept them. The reason I think that a lot of people struggle with accepting their personal issues is because they feel guilty and they feel like they're broken, or they feel like there's something like really seriously wrong with them. And there isn't. It's not that. That's a misconception. And so they're like so down on themselves. I'm this, I'm that, I'm so bad, and I did these things, or these things happened to me, or I don't even know why the fuck I act like this. But, people are really, really down on themselves, and they're embarrassed. They get embarrassed and they feel responsible. But they don't know why, because they can't figure out what it is that they're responsible for. Now, these are the reasons why all those feelings come up. When we are children, we have our biggest lessons. Because the reason they're the biggest lessons is because they come to us in childhood. And when you are a child, you're completely innocent. You're not even fully developed yet. So everything that is around you, all the people, places, things, okay, around you when you are a child, go into your energy field, your Merkaba, your personal spirit body. You have a spirit body. You are not just this flesh, okay? This is just energy. These are just particles, all right? You are a spirit. You are a soul. You invasion of the motherfucking body snatchers, okay? You're up in this bitch, but you are not this bitch, okay? You are a spirit. You are energy. Your body is a vessel. It's a vehicle. It's like a spaceship. You're flying the bitch around. I kind of think that we should be able to fly, but whatever. Maybe I just miss my wings. I don't know. Everybody says I'm an angel. Anyway, I don't know what I am. I'm whatever I am. Shit, I could be a dragon tomorrow. Okay? I don't know. So, anyway, I'm not one for labels. But here's the thing. When you are a child, all of these things around you, all of this energy goes into you on a subconscious level. I'm sorry, it probably really freaks some of you guys out the way I touch my eyes on some of these videos, but I'm all up in them. I don't care. So, this energy goes into you when you're a child. Now, you chose a certain level of difficulty before you were born. So in a sense, I'm not going to say you chose the things that you went through, because you didn't. But you chose a certain level of difficulty, and you already had a trajectory of motion set in place before you came into this world. And whatever your personal trajectory and emotional set is what landed you in your mama's womb. It's all energy. It's all energy, y'all. It's all scientific. So when you were little, and there's no difference between science and spirit, by the way. And when you were little, and these things happened to you, okay? You were a child. You were not grown, okay? You did not know. You didn't know. And if you don't know, then you're just, it seems to the outside world as if you are a victim of circumstance. But you're not really a victim of circumstance, because you landed yourself there by previous, you chose it. And it wasn't for bad reasons, When you overcome certain shit in your life, it brings you into more alignment with yourself, and it opens you up and puts you in your place of power. And that's where you want to be in this life, is in your place of power. You want both your feet firmly planted in your personal place of power. When you are in your personal place of power, you don't have a lot of issues with things like low self-esteem or feeling like you ain't shit, because you're in your place of power. When we're little, we get knocked off of our place of power often. And sometimes we can get, slapped in the motherfucking face off of our place of power, or worse, when we're little. And it may be a really long time before we're able to get back into that shit, okay? Because once an abusive parent knocks you out of your place of power, they're then going to start feeding off of you. And if they have any demonic attachments, because especially if you're a twin flame, there's a really good chance that you came from a demonic bloodline. That's a subject for a whole nother video. But, an indigo child, a starseed, whatever you want to call yourself. I'm not into labels, but there's a new motherfucking breed, okay? And there's more than just one generation of us. We're spread out, but we're here. We're different. And you know who you are if you're one of these people. So, if you are one of these people, you could have found yourself in a very abusive household. And that isn't because you're bad, and that isn't because you needed punished. It isn't because of any of those fucked up things. It's for a really great reason. It's because you are a very powerful energy purifier. You're an energy purifier. You are a light. You are the evolved human, if you will. And you incarnating into that, see, I said this for a different video, but I'm still going to use it because it correlates with the subject. You chose to be born into that family, into that ancestry, into that bloodline, because it was really dark and it needed cleared the fuck up. And you're able to do that just with your existence, because of your spirit, because of your energy, because of your personal DNA, because of your personal spirit imprint, okay? It's like, I'm like a female Jesus. I always try to think of in terms of examples, to give y'all examples, so it's easier to understand. Like, okay, say you have this giant glass of water, and you put one teeny tiny drop of like black or red food coloring in it. That'd probably have to be a pretty big black. I don't really know if this is a good example. But you'll see it. It will change. It's like adding something really small, something really minute to something large, and you don't think you're going to see a difference, but it changes everything. It's that idea. And I can't think of a good example, but it's that idea, because in a sense, you see him like this teeny tiny little drop in this huge bloodline. But, baby, y'all so much bigger than just a little drop, because you're changing things. You're changing everything, you know? Where you were abused, you won't be an abuser. Where, you know, your family, your heritage, your bloodline, your family, well, they were liar, cheater, thieves, demonic, only cared about money, they were shut off from the world, whatever the case, whatever your family has going on, you will know if you, one of the confirmations, I guess, if you don't know, if you, are listening and you're like, you know, you don't know, if your family has all of these negative traits, but you don't, and that ties into codependency, okay? Because, and what I'm getting at with the energy, because you will pick up behavioral problems if you are abused as a child. Now, some of y'all running around out there not even knowing you were abused, not even knowing you're still being abused, okay? If somebody tells you who the fuck to be, if somebody doesn't, okay, here's the thing. If somebody ain't like this with you, loving, supportive, complimentary, available, forgiving, compassionate, empathetic, understanding, thoughtful. If somebody ain't those things, they ain't gotta be Mary motherfucking Poppins, okay? They can be quiet as a motherfucker, they can talk in a raspy ass voice and sound like the devil. It depends on how a motherfucker treats you, okay? If they don't treat you like those things I just said, then there's a chance they're probably abusive. Abuse comes in a lot of forms, and a lot of people are abused and they don't know it. They think, well, I just have shitty behavioral traits, and this person is just calling me out. Could be that. But how are they calling you out? How are they calling you out? Are they calling you out like, I notice that you react in this way, and that's cool, but, well, this is how I saw the situation, and, I really respect you and I care about you, but I wanted to bring this up to you because I can see this in a way where if you see things from my perspective, I wonder if you see things from this perspective because it might change things for you. What if you looked at it like this? Or what if you came at it from this angle? Or, fuck all that. How about just starting with, are you okay? Why are you so upset? And just listening to you, okay? People should be treating each other decent out there. Y'all should be treating each other decent out there. Y'all should be loving each other, being affectionate, loving, understanding with each other. If you still got a mama or a papa and they're talking down to you and they're insulting you and they're making you feel like there's something wrong with you just because you're upset about something, or your feelings don't matter, or you're not good enough, or you don't deserve to be pissed off about something, or they ain't got time for your motherfucking tears, or your emotions are getting in their way, or you're too needy, or you're too this, or they're name calling, or they're talking about how you look, or they're throwing up all the reasons why you're a problem. That motherfucker's abusive. Point blank. Okay? Y'all should not be being nasty to each other. If somebody's being nasty to you more than one day out of a motherfucking month just because, I don't even know if there's a good enough excuse. Because y'all shouldn't be getting treated shitty even one day a month. If somebody's treating you shitty, you need to get the fuck away from them. Now, that's one thing y'all need to recognize, is that you might just be with some narcissistic, abusive motherfuckers. And some of you love your mama, and you love your daddy, or you love your significant other, or you love your children, or you love whoever these people are in your life that aren't treating you right. Who aren't treating you right. And you just think, well, they're right. Right? I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Or, what the fuck are you talking about? I ain't like that motherfucker. These are not good relationships. And even if it is your parent, fuck it. Even if it is your parent, you walk the fuck away from that. I ain't saying be mean to them, but you gotta set your own boundaries. Now, if you were an abused child because you had an abusive parent, and that abusive parent is still in your life abusing your damn ass, then there's a possibility that, they always abused you, and thus you don't know how to set a boundary. And that's okay. That's okay if you don't know how to do that. Every passing moment is another chance to turn it all around. That's one of my favorite quotes ever. I'm going to say it again. Every passing moment is another chance to turn it all around. Another one of my favorite quotes is, do what you've always done, get what you've always gotten. It's okay to do something new. It's okay to do something wrong. That's kind of the whole point. Think about it. If we weren't able to make mistakes, we're able to make mistakes. So that's the point. If we were here, if we were home in heaven, there'd be no mistakes to make. You're not home. You're not in heaven, clearly. So y'all supposed to be making mistakes. You're here on a journey. It's a learning journey. It's a magical soul journey. You're supposed to fuck up. Sometimes you're supposed to fuck up real bad. And trust me, I have. You're supposed to. It's a part of it. Okay? Because, you know, you then bust open and you grow. You're here for soul growth. Now, if you have an abusive parent or you suffered from abuse as a child, if you were abandoned a lot as a child, and you may not even remember this, okay? Some of these patterns can be set up in infancy, even while you're still in the womb. If your parents neglected themselves and then neglected you, if there was somebody that stepped into your life as a child, a grandparent, or some other family member, whatever, and they were somewhat of a parent to you and then they vanished. If you got into some relationships as you got older, or friendships, and you were abandoned and somebody just fucking ghosted your ass, you know, dropped you, just, you probably have abandonment issues. I don't even like the word issues. I don't like it. I don't like the way that's said, abandonment issues. Like, who the fuck doesn't have an issue with being abandoned? You know, like, you should have some feelings about being abandoned. The issue in the abandonment issues is that shit happened to you more than once. In times where you were super motherfucking vulnerable and you needed somebody there. It's okay to need people. Okay? Calling somebody needy is a dick thing to do, okay? So, don't be doing that shit. Ever. Okay? Don't call a motherfucker needy. Don't call a motherfucker nothing. You ain't got to be running around out there calling people names. Whether you're doing it face to face or you're a keyboard fucking slugger and you're doing it online. Or, you know, whatever the fuck you're doing. Stop. Because you don't need to do that. You don't need to call people names. Even if they're shitty to you, you don't need to call people names. Sometimes that shit can be funny, but you really don't need to do it. If somebody's coming at you sideways, I know that this is maybe going to make you angry or is maybe not going to make sense to you, but because of the way energy works, if somebody's coming at you sideways, you coming at yourself sideways first. Or it wouldn't be able to happen. And you're coming at yourself sideways because somebody else came at you sideways when you were really young or when you were developing. Here's the thing I'm trying to get at with the energy. When you're little, your parents' energy or whoever is around you goes into you. And because you came into that family or you came into that situation to clean that energy up, it was supposed to go into you so that you could transmute it, change it to something positive. Until you are at the point where you know, or you just naturally turn it into something positive, it may show up in you as the same negative trait, whether you're, you know, whether you run your mouth a lot, or you lie, or you cheat, or you steal. You know, I hope you're not violent, physically violent, whatever the case is. You know, whether you just hate on yourself all the time and you're hard on yourself. How you talk to yourself matters. How you treat yourself matters. Y'all like, it don't matter how I treat myself. And then y'all lose your motherfucking mind when people come at you sideways. Boo, you can't do that shit. If you treat yourself like shit, okay? If you neglect yourself, if you're laying there like, I really should be cooking myself a healthy meal, but you get the fuck up and you go to a restaurant instead, somebody probably gonna come at you sideways. If you are heartbroken about something and you tell yourself, get over it. Why are you crying? Grow up. You don't need to be acting like this. Somebody gonna come at you sideways. If you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, God damn, I'm so motherfucking ugly. I don't even want to look in that mirror. I don't even want to look in that mirror. Or you try to look at your body in the mirror and you're like, I don't even want to look at that ape-ass motherfucking body. Or if you're like, I don't even want to look at that skinny-ass motherfucking body. Somebody gonna come at you motherfucking sideways. Okay? You need to get this understood. You need to learn this. If you are mean to you, other people are gonna be mean to you, boo, okay? You gotta get this shit straight. You can't be mean to yourself and expect other people to be nice to you. That ain't how energy works. Like attracts like. You got to be nice to yourself. You got to look at yourself and say, I motherfucking love you. I love you. You're a cool motherfucker. You got to understand that you are your own vehicle. It is okay for you to love yourself. And the only reason that you don't love yourself is because there was some point in your life when you were developing as a child or in one of your early relationships, there were things that happened to you that made you feel like it was wrong for you to love yourself. Maybe somebody told you you were really selfish. Or maybe you had a jealous, vindictive parent who was stealing your power and trying to live vicariously through you. Maybe you had like a fucking demonic sibling or a cousin or, you know, like all of the above for me. Like I had a bunch of fucked up people in my life. And I'm still trying to get that shit right because they still crawl out of the woodwork. And when they do, and I look at the way they treat me and the things they say and the things they do, I think, okay, Jacqueline, how fucked up are you still that you're manifesting shit like this? And then I have to figure out why. And it took me a long time to figure this out. And this kind of shit is where codependency comes from because codependency comes from, y'all think I forgot about the codependency. This is all about codependency. I am not getting off subject. Codependency comes from feeling like you ain't good enough. Codependency comes from being abused and not being healed. And feeling like you need to barter your love. You need to, change who you are to be loved. You need to do specific things to be loved. And if you are not in a romantic union, your life's gonna fall the fuck apart. Now, I've only had like a couple relationships and they weren't real long, but I've been more alone in my life than anything else. So at least I got that going for me. I'm completely comfortable being alone. I'm alone every day. I'm alone all the time. I'm only around the people that I live with, and, you know, it's just my mom and her boyfriend. And I just don't associate with people. That's for my own personal reasons. I'm going through a lot of healing, a lot of transformation, a lot of purging. I'm really focusing on my businesses. You know, I've been through it the last few years. I've really been through some fucked up shit, and I ain't even gonna get into that. I'm just saying, I used to be codependent. And so that's why I know so much about this, because it was something that I really struggled with a lot myself, and I'm not codependent anymore. I realized it, and when I realized it, I just stopped. I sat my ass motherfucking down, and I worked through that shit, and I healed it, because I do love myself, and I always wanted to die, but I couldn't kill myself, because I remember killing myself in a past life. And my life has been a shit storm, dude, for real. And I just keep, I always thought, if I kill myself, what if I get punished by having to live a worse life than I am right now? And I realized I couldn't deal. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it was enough to keep me from doing it. And my logic was, if I can't die, then I need to figure out a way to make my life enjoyable, because I'm tired of fucking suffering. So I sat my ass down, and I tried to figure that shit out. And I've basically been single for like 4 years. Like, I had like a little bit of a fucking relationship or whatever, but I don't even really want to count it. I guess I have to, but it was another negative karmic relationship. But I've spent a lot of time alone, because my relationships and my interactions with people were not what I wanted them to be. I was a bitch. They were mean to me. I was being triggered constantly. I was like an injured, scared animal in the corner, and I was constantly ready to attack. And I know other people like that right now. And I get it, because I'm coming from a place where I've been that person, I've been in the knockout dragouts with the boyfriend, I've had, this shit kicked out of me by abusive boyfriends. I've had myself mentally manipulated and brainwashed at a very, very young age by significant others. I've been through it, yo, so I know. It's not like I'm just textbooking your ass, okay? So codependency comes from having no self-esteem. No self-esteem comes from being abused when you are young. Being talked down to, being told, being beat, being told you ain't shit, you need to get the fuck out of somebody's face, you're getting in the way of somebody just dropping you, your parents not meeting your needs, your parents making you feel like you're needy, maybe you were a very sensitive child and you cried a lot or something, but somebody didn't give you what you needed. At some point in your life, you did not get what you needed, and I'm going to say it probably happened when you were little in one way or another. So these needs were not met. And at some point, somebody told you you weren't shit, and you believed them. But it was a lie. It was a lie, because here is the thing. Every single person is amazing. Every single person is amazing. The shit that makes people assholes are things that aren't even theirs. It doesn't even belong to them. Everybody is amazing. Most people just don't know it. They just don't know it. They just don't know it. And if you believe you're a piece of shit, and you're walking around telling yourself you're a piece of shit, and you feed yourself as a piece of shit, and you dress yourself as a piece of shit, and you look in the mirror as a piece of shit, and you talk to yourself as if you're a piece of shit, what you gonna be? But you ain't really that. You fooling. It ain't really that. You're a fucking miracle. Just your existence is a miracle. I've had 9 miscarriages. I don't have any kids. It's not easy having children. It's not easy for everybody. Some people just think about having sex and they're pregnant and they have children and everything, and they're like, why the fuck do I have all these kids? I don't even want all these kids, right? And there's people like me who, I don't know, whatever, but you're a miracle. It's a miracle that you exist. treat yourself like a miracle. Once you start treating yourself like a miracle, that's your first step in healing your codependency. So the codependency is feeling that you need somebody, whether you like them or not. Now that shit's insane. You know, you're with somebody and you're thinking or you're feeling, I need them. I want them to go, but I need them. And it could be for a lot of things, you know. I need them to pay my bills. I need them to just be with me. You know, some people are really afraid to be alone. If you are codependent and you feel that you're in relationships for the wrong reason, you have to take the responsibility to choose to be alone for a while and work that shit out. And you've got to understand that if you are suffering from a codependent nature, that until you heal your codependency, you know, until you actually heal it, until you look at it and you address it and you heal it, all your relationships are going to be a shitstorm. I swear. All your relationships are going to be a shitstorm. You cannot have a successful relationship when you're codependent. You can't. And this is why you can't. A successful relationship only occurs with two people who are emotionally mature and healthy, and who understand and take full responsibility for the fact that their emotions are their own, and nobody controls your emotions, okay? If words come out of your mouth like, you made me angry, you ain't ready for a healthy relationship. If words come out of your mouth like, you ruined my day with this, you ain't ready for a healthy relationship. 'Cause those are lies. Ain't nobody can ruin your day. Ain't nobody can make you feel nothing. Why are you giving your power away? Look, we live in a world where we live in a country. Now, you might live in a different country, but I'm going to tell you, America's fucking jacked up. Everywhere, though, okay? And I can't say really for sure with other countries because I ain't been in those other countries. But I will say in this society, in this country, in this society, you are in a society that lies to you about your freedom. They say you have freedom, but then they don't let you do a motherfucking thing. Look, you need to take your power back where it truly is. You choose your feelings. If I was sitting here and somebody walked up and just said, damn girl, you are the ugliest motherfucking thing I ever seen. Why are you even on YouTube right now? Why are you even making a motherfucking video? If this was a live video and haters got in here, shut the fuck up. Trick, shut the fuck up. Twat, I don't want to hear your shit. You're a loud ass motherfucking bitch. You're ugly. Get the fuck off that camera. I watch other tarot readers go live and they get some shit like that. Ain't even gonna hurt my feelings. And now it might. I don't think it would, but it might. It's only gonna hurt my feelings if I get triggered. And the only way that I'm going to get triggered is if somebody says something to me that reminds me of something that happened to me in the past. Now, if somebody got on here and say something like, you're worthless, your body can't even grow a child, that might trigger me. I don't know, though, but that might trigger me because that's something personal to me. But I don't think it would, because the reason you get triggered when people insult you is it's because they are insults that you give yourself. And you don't like to hear it come out of somebody else's mouth. But it's okay if you say it to you. Now that's some motherfucking real shit right there. Let that shit sink the fuck in. They're saying some shit to you that you've said to your damn self. You don't want to hear it come out of nobody else's mouth. You can say anything you want to me, it ain't gonna bother me none. Because I did the work and I went through the time to find out that I am a miracle. And that I am the shit. And that I am a cool motherfucker. And that, yeah, I'm gonna fuck up sometimes. Everybody is. That's part of it. You are not defined by anything other than what you choose to be defined by. And yes, you need a healthy structure. You need a healthy societal structure. We are tribal in nature. You need a significant other. You need love and affection. You need compliments. You need kissing. You need to have somebody to make love to. You need to have somebody to enjoy your life with. You need family and friends. You do. The same way you need oxygen. The same way you need food. But you got to understand why you need them and how you need them. You can pay your own bills. You can grow your own food. Hell, you can give yourself orgasms. You got to be self-sufficient, okay? That does not mean that you can't build an empire with somebody. You can, and it can be beautiful. But you have to be able to take care of your own needs. You have to be able to take care of your own emotional needs. You have to be able to set your own emotional boundaries. You have to be able to take care of your own financial needs. You have to be able to not feel like you're going to completely lose your shit just because you're alone. Now, if you feel like you're going to lose your shit because you're alone, it's because you have abandonment issues. And abandonment issues come from people abandoning you. That ain't your fault. If you were little and somebody abandoned you and fucked you up, that ain't your fault. It ain't their fault either. Because they were fucked up. And that's something that needs to be understood as well. Because when you harbor anger towards people that abused you, you're not ever going to be able to heal from it. You've got to understand that the people that abused you, the people who abused you, I got to get that word right, I always say that wrong. The people who abused you were abused themselves. The people who abused you didn't know any better. The people who abused you, well, I guess they didn't know any better because they probably did. But the people who abused you, it doesn't matter. Because they did what they did. They already are getting their karma back. Or they're about to. Or they're gonna. It happened for a reason, or it wouldn't have happened at all. It's gonna sound nuts to you guys, but there was a soul contract put in place. You chose to be abused. They chose to be the abuser. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's fun. I'm not saying that it's good to happen, for those things to happen. But once there is an understanding that is reached, you can start to let the anger go. And you need to understand that you didn't do anything wrong, that it wasn't your fault, that you didn't deserve it. If you were abused when you were a child, you didn't deserve it. There isn't anything wrong with you. You are beautiful just the way you are. Every single flaw you think you have. All the things you don't like about yourself. You're beautiful. You know that you are through with your codependency when you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep at night and you think, it would be nice to have someone next to me. But I only want somebody next to me who's the right person to be next to me. And it's okay to miss that person. But the most important part of that sentence was, but I only want the person next to me who's meant for me. If you accept scraps and crumbs, you're going to have a scraps and crumbs relationship. And if you accept scraps and crumbs, you're probably codependent. Because you don't feel like you deserve anything more than scraps and crumbs. It's a cycle. It is a cycle. It's a cycle. And it starts wherever you are in your journey, where you had certain types of mental conditioning that made you think that you didn't deserve love, that you didn't, that you had to change who you were. You know, if your parents were really, really, really strict and really hard on you, and, you know, maybe you didn't think that you were abused. You just thought, oh, my parents were just strict, they just wanted me to achieve. You know, but maybe they gave you the feeling that if you didn't get good grades, or you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, that they wouldn't love you anymore. That's abuse. They might not have meant it that way. They might not have even known that they were doing it. But that shit's abuse. You ain't got to be anybody other than who you are in this moment to be loved. And you ain't got to be anybody other than who you are in this moment to be accepted. Now, the first person who needs to do those things for you is you. If you're a twin flame, you gotta understand, your twin flame is you. Your twin flame is as closest to you as anybody else is gonna get. They're gonna be in another body, but they're gonna be you. When you look into their eyes, when you look into their eyes, sorry, I was thinking about somebody else's eyes. When you look into their eyes, you're going to be able to see yourself. Or something close to that. There's going to be, you know, you're going to see yourself in them. And that might be okay if you're seeing parts of yourself that you like. But once you start to see things you don't like about yourself and your twin flame, that shit could cause some problems. How is that solved? By liking everything about yourself. And that sounds crazy, but it's true. If you work on yourself and you get to the point where you're comfortable with yourself, and you're comfortable with the process of you, with the painting of you, with the artwork that is you, if you're forgiving with yourself, if you do some shit and you're like, oh my god, why did I do that shit, right? Like, why did I do that? But in that moment, instead of calling yourself names and beating up on yourself and punishing yourself for it, instead of doing that, you're like, alright, let's get to the bottom of this. Why did this happen? And you figure it out. That's being self-loving. And that's being understanding with yourself. And if you can be curious and understanding with yourself, then you can be curious and understanding with your twin flame. God cannot let twin flames come together if they're just gonna fucking kill each other. Dude, you don't know how bad you can hurt your twin flame if you're not with your twin flame. You don't know. I mean, you could really hurt each other bad. And that's not the plan. That's why the karmic soulmates are in place, so that y'all can hurt each other. It sounds fucked up, but it's the way it is. Twin flames are different. There is more damage that can be done. Your karmic can't hurt you as bad as your twin flame. So, But that isn't even an issue if you can just love yourself and accept yourself and start to do things. You have to do things for yourself. Like, get up in the morning and write down all the things that you're grateful for. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell your damn self, I love you. Every morning. You know, somebody taught me that, and it was one of the most life-changing things that anybody ever taught me. And when dude first told me to do that, I was pissed. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell myself I love myself in the mirror. What the fuck you think I am? Crazy? That shit's crazy. I ain't got time for that. I don't want to be doing that shit. I got shit to do. I felt uncomfortable with it because I didn't love myself. But now I do. And that was one of the ways that, and it seemed so simple, but I began to fall back in love with myself just by doing that. There was a point in your life where you did love yourself, and I want to encourage you to take the time to try to find that. Try to find that in your memory. Inside of you, there is an innocent child. And that innocent child needs your love. Needs love from you, needs love from the world, needs nurturing, needs understanding. It's okay to be innocent. It's okay to be childlike. Even if you're grown, you can be both at the same time. There's a stigma with that. I'm very childlike. Another one of my friends, Judge, shout out to Judge, let me know that the eternal child is an archetype. And I fit that, you know? That's just who I am. I'm not saying that I'm not grown. I'm not saying I'm not responsible. I'm not saying I can't run several businesses at once. I'm not saying I can't be a mother and a wife. I'm not saying that I can't be an old bitch someday. But even, you know, if I ever age naturally, which I don't know if I will, but even if I will, and I'm covered in fucking old people shit, wrinkles and gray hair and shit, I'm still going to be the eternal child. And I've embraced that. And I love that about myself now. Because I'm playful and I have a great sense of humor and I'm innocent. And I have a level of purity that I defend. And I will not let anybody fuck with that. I used to look at those parts of myself as weaknesses, and I used to be very embarrassed about those things, and I wanted to be hard, and I wanted to be like my parents, and I wanted to be, you know, it seemed like my parents just didn't ever get hurt, but the problem was that they were already as hurt as they could get, and then, you know, they just got right down to hurting each other and hurting everybody else around them, but that ain't me. And I got hurt a lot. I just didn't want to get hurt anymore. So I wanted to be, you know, bulletproof. Being innocent and vulnerable and being able to cry and laugh at myself was not in my idea of being bulletproof. And it took me several years to get this shit straight within me. The real strength is in being yourself. Your true self. And not giving a fuck what anybody else thinks about you, okay? You ain't got to give a fuck about what nobody else thinks about you. Give a fuck about what you think about you. Rising Appalachian. Everybody, take a long, hard look at yourself. It starts there. Even if I don't like you out there, I love you. I love all of you. I ain't got to like something to love it. There's lots of people I don't like, but I still love them. I still help them. You know, I love myself first, So if helping you fucks me over, then somebody else gotta help you. But